deserve that.
Get lit up!
Gwen, I've got the codex.
I've secured Atticus. I need to find the rest of the board.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Saints Row Easy Allies review in progress. Basically, impressions, review in progress. It's cooking, it's coming. We got a lot going on, but we've played a bunch of Saints Row, and I played a ton. Brad's played a little. So let's just dive in to what this reboot is all about. First up, Bradley Ellis. Did you play many of the other Saints Rows?
No, I never played any of them.
Okay, yeah.
Not a single one.
I personally scrubbed out after 2. I loved 1 and 2. They're a little more grounded, a little more GTA-like. 3, that's when things get really crazy. That's when the series was always really big. It was like the greatest hits, I know, in the early days. But 3, I feel like it brought it to another level. Just with like the wackiness and the superheroes and superpowers, your president and all this.
Yeah.
But this is kind of back to its roots. It's a reboot, and it kind of straddles the line with the first 2 and the newer 2. So it has a lot of, witty, jokey banter like you would come to expect from mass appeal media these days.
Right.
But it's also more grounded than the most recent entries, which I appreciate.
Okay, well, hold up. First up, I've played like an hour of this game.
Yeah.
And you say this is more grounded than the last 2?
Yeah, 3 and 4 are fucking out of control. You're like flying around.
Bro, this game is out of control.
Of course.
This game is out of control right off the bat.
Of course.
Okay, I don't have the context. I don't know how crazy the other 2 are, but I'm like, dude, this game is off the rails already.
3 and 4 are like beyond, like there is no track. It's just nuts. But and again, it's kind of in the middle of the first 2 and the last 2 because it is crazy, but I still think it is like trying to be just a little more grounded in reality, even though it is a chaotic reality.
Yeah.
So you're in a fictional city in the American Southwest called Santo Ileso, and there are 3 main factions. Classic open world structure where it's like, all right, there's a couple factions around and you got to make your mark in the city.
Right.
You can you start out by creating your character, or if you downloaded the Boss Factory that they gave away for free a couple weeks ago or a month or so ago, you could import your character from that. Some pretty good options, Brad. I tried to make Napa.
Ooh.
I tried really hard to make Napa. But the body couldn't get big enough.
Oh, really?
I was like, I was too small, dude. Too small for Napa.
I mean, my guy is huge as possible, I think. I don't know if it's Napa huge, but he's pretty jacked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's Napa. I made myself like a jacked out Ziggy Stardust freak clown.
Hell yeah.
He is a freak, dude.
Yes. You got to make some freako in this game for sure. So it starts out, and you're working for this like private security company called Marshall. That's one of the 3 gangs we were talking about. There's There's Marshall, the Panteros, and the Idols. The Idols have strong Watch Dogs 2, Watch Dogs Legion. A lot of Watch Dogs kind of energy actually throughout Saints Row, just with the.
So that's good for you then.
Just the comedy, Yeah. It's like. Okay. Everything's got to be so witty. I feel like that's a huge part of this game. And if you do not like that, like if that kind of humor and like jokey, 69 poop jokes is not your thing, I think Saints Row is going to be like a hard out because there's a lot of that. That is the primary tone.
I could tolerate some of it.
Yeah.
But there's too much for me already. It's just not for me, that kind of whole thing. But
totally.
I don't know if this is an insult or not, but I was thinking, man, if this was out when I was in junior high, I would have loved this shit. I don't mean as like an insult, but I'm just thinking about my space where I was at that time in my life.
You were okay with that humor then. Now
more
it's
so.
just,
I'm okay with it, but it's
just tired of it.
If it's rapid fire, constant, then it gets, it just loses its appeal.
Absolutely. I I will say again, we're not going into any spoilers whatsoever.
Right.
The story does slow down a little bit, and you know, it does have a couple moments of like intimacy, bonds, emotions, but like haven't seen that many, and like the primary tone and vibe is chaotic comedy. So
Well, I have a question. So I've only played, like I said, like an hour, and I know this is like something really early. Is like you have your companions or whatever, your people you live in your apartment with at the beginning of the game.
yes,
How is the relationships with them?
really good. So it's Nina, Kevin, and Eli. They all have their specialty. They bring something new to the crew, and it gets to a point where eventually you start doing missions for like each of them.
Okay.
But the dynamic, like again, we're ragging on the comedy and the tone. The story, the plot is okay. I am intrigued because each one of your crew has a history with some of these gangs. So they're kind of caught like, you know, in the middle of like, yo, I know these people, but you're my person. So there's some pretty good dynamics going on there. And just the open world in general is fun to chill around. I always love a good interior, Brad. I'm glad you brought up the apartment.
Yeah.
I love just hanging out at an apartment. You got your wardrobe, your gun cache. You can talk to your roommates. Not a lot of interiors though throughout. You know, it has that classic open world, just kind of everything. The buildings look cool, but like you can't go in very many of them. Or...
I do like the world. I drove around it a little bit, and there was like a, you know, wherever you're, I don't know how you describe where you start off yet, just like a neighborhood. Then there's like a Vegas kind of looking area almost, and there's like downtown area with high rises. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, dude. I went up to a skyscraper. We'll show that footage. Went up to a skyscraper, jumped off on a wingsuit.
That is
was just like flying around.
That is fun.
You can like land on cars.
Cool.
Really cool.
That's awesome.
The main missions are pretty solid. There's a lot of shooting, as you would expect. But they have been creative and they are involved. You know, sometimes a main mission will take 20 minutes plus for like a whole mission. You know, again, classic open world stuff, driving from point A to point B, maybe picking somebody up or stealing something and shooting a bunch of people. They do try to be creative with it. There's like a Fast and the Furious type mission where you're dragging this big crate behind you. There was a Mad Max Fury Road nod where you're driving into like a crazy sandstorm. So the main missions are cool. And every time I boot one up, I'm like, all right, let's go, main mission, stoked. In between the main missions, Brad, I don't know what developers' obsession is with picking up trash in video games. I don't get, like, calling all developers out there, why do you like having us pick up trash all the time? There's little side things on the map where you can just dumpster dive, Brad. You just jump into a dumpster, get some cash.
Okay.
You know, cool. I actually found a pretty funny hat in the dumpster. It was like a pizza box hat.
That is cool, actually.
I was like, all right, that's pretty funny. Good job. There are bounties, and it's not just like random bounty. It's like there's a chain of bounties, and they're all different.
Cool.
But it is traditional, like, you know,
go
find this person, gun them down, or, you know, get them in a race. And then of course leveling up, Brad.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about character progression. I like the first thing you unlock is this move where you like grab someone, you stick a grenade on them, then throw them at an ally, one of their allies. That's a really fun move. I like that.
Brad, I've done it 100 times and it is still just as fun. It's so fun.
I love that move.
Yes. So initially the shooting starts out rough. You know, you have some pretty poor guns. Even when you get better guns, it just feels a little...
It does. Feels
loosey-goosey, to put it not elegantly.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, you know, you don't really have that good impact when you shoot an enemy. You know, you don't really feel it as much, and it's just kind of unwieldy. Again, the guns get better. You level them up. You can upgrade them. a little more precision. But there's something missing with like the way it feels to shoot enemies, which is what you're doing a lot of in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
But when you finish missions and just do random little bonus things, like if you're driving on the wrong side of the road for a while, you'll get like a little XP, whatever. But the main way is to do missions and side missions. And it's pretty linear with leveling up, which is fine. But you get perks, which you can assign to the face buttons. That's one of the moves you were talking about Brad, was just kind of put a grenade on them, throw them in. You can also unlock like a proximity bomb or a frag grenade, or you increase your maximum health that way. That's just a passive perk. You don't need to equip it. There's also melee weapons. Good old axe, good old spiked bat. They feel okay. Trying to think of some other side missions I did, Brad, because like each person, I really like, again, I just really like the open world. I really want to hype that up. It's cool because like I did a mission for someone and then I met up with them later and they were like, yo, I want to build like a garage, like a car chop shop. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And then like you see the building like builds up and then you can go on missions for that person and start stealing cars. And it just feels like it's nice to get invested in those, you know. It's not just like one-offs all the time. There is like a progression to it, which I really appreciate.
Nice.
Bunch of shops, classic, you know, open world shops.
Oh yeah, probably lots of clothes to buy.
A lot of clothes, the gun store.
Dude, if you're into like making an avatar and just like decking them out, I think you will enjoy this.
Absolutely.
Seems like there's a lot.
Yes. Driving feels really good. You can drift, you can sideswipe people, tons of different cars. Off-roading, you'll need like off-road tires. Really good sense of speed, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
Multiple difficulties. I put it on one below the hardest. And
Sensei.
Sensei. And it felt good. Like I couldn't fully tune out. Like I needed to like, you know.
Focus a little,
Focus a little bit. That being said, Brad, it's more of a personal gripe with video games in general. I don't like when you can change the difficulty anytime. I like when it makes you commit. Personally, I know it's nice for the majority to be able to change it anytime, convenience, but it devalues the upgrades for me when you're able to do that.
You know what I like is a middle ground for that is the hardest difficulty you can't change off of. I like when games do that.
Totally. So some of the upgrades and progression, just knowing that you can like bump it down anytime is like,
I guess that's just kind of the spirit of that wacky game, you know?
Totally. That is a key point, Brad. This game is for mass appeal. You know, this game is trying to be a little bit for everyone, you know, a big mass appealing summer blockbuster, open world. I have a hard time kind of separating the districts. I feel, again, another personal thing, I feel like there's so much to look at, you know, there's so much detail on the outside of the buildings and everything. There's a lot of just cool looking stuff in this game. Everything just looks cool. It starts to blend because like there's so much to look at. I end up just like trying to relax my eyes and like look at kind of everything at once, and it's all kind of just like going by me, you know. So it's like, so I guess when I go to Vegas, or the Vegas area, I just call it Vegas area, whatever. I go to there because it's like so distinct, vibrant colors that pop, whereas some of the other areas just like kind of blend together.
Yeah. Well, just from what I've seen really briefly, it's like, it's all desert. Everything is desert, so.
A lot of desert, and then, just like downtown. Dude, I just really like looking at everything.
Yeah, it's nice. Definitely.
Sure. Tons of districts. We're not going to get into the nitty gritty of each specific zone, but each zone has objectives, you know, main quests, side quests, discoveries. You can really clever, funny way to unlock fast travel, Brad. I appreciate this. You take a picture of a little tourist spot, and then you can fast travel to that location. And I like that. Just another way to immerse you in this world. And I think the game does a very good job of immersing you in it and grounding you in it. Just building building up your bankroll, you know. the beginning of the game, you are just struggling to pay rent. There's
Yeah.
4 of you living in an absolute shithole, and you cannot pay rent. The 4 of you combined, you're just like, ah!
Mhm.
So just a really nice way of like sucking you in to like build your funds, build your wardrobe, build your base up.
Cool.
So yeah, Saints Row, positive on it.
Yeah.
I am positive. Some of the humor it's like the humor is so specific, and if you're not into that, like I said earlier, maybe this game will rub you the wrong way. The shooting and whatnot feels solid. It's not the best feeling gunplay I've ever felt, but it is better than average, way better than average. Like it feels good to pop the heads off.
Okay.
You know, I got a bolt action rifle, Brad. It felt good. Got that shotgun. The initial shotgun, I was like, but then I got like the cheapest one. So I'm all about like the cheap rugged.
Right.
Just give me the pump, you know, give me the classic pump. And it felt good. It felt good to do. Oh, and lastly, dude, when you shoot a bunch, you build up a meter. And when you use that melee meter, that's a melee takedown, you get some health back.
Yeah.
So it encourages you to kind of get in there, get some melees going, John Wick style, shooting some enemies, you know, maybe there's no cover really. You can like duck down.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a lot of running and gunning. So a lot of movement.
Yeah. Very chaotic. Yeah.
Very chaotic. And then driving just feels so great. Like
Cool.
fantastic world to just be in. So nice to just drive around.
Cool. Nice.
Anything on your end? Any takeaways? Any questions before we bounce out of here?
No, I mean, it's just like, do you think this is a good entry point for someone, I guess?
Absolutely. Because it is.
Like,
Because
this is like the 5th game or something, right?
yeah. And then they had like that Gat Out of Hell, which was like a big expansion.
Yeah. Like, I don't
So,
think you're going to be missing anything story-wise. I don't think anything like that matters.
No, there was one franchise nod where I was like, oh, I've played the games. I get that. That's it. This
Got it.
is totally a reboot. Like, hit the ground floor for sure if
Cool.
you're interested. And then I always say, you know, if it grabs you, you can go back and check out the older ones.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
will say before we leave, Brad, I fell in love with Saints Row on Xbox 360 because of the rocket launcher. The rocket launcher, one of my all-time favorite weapons in video games. The rocket launcher here is good, but it's not that level.
Ooh.
It's good though. We're gonna show some clips. Cars are freaking flying all over the place. Explosions are going down. It's still really awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Saints Row. We'll have that review up, I'm sure, in the coming days. And stay tuned for that. We are Easy Allies. I hope you enjoyed this little chat. That's Brad Ellis. I'm Michael Huber. We'll see you next time. Love and respect.
Enough.